said you want a big name. So who is the big name?
Yeah, I want Jon Jones.
Okay.
This is it. Mark Gardner's taking a very good look at it. Finish. That's tight. Stop!
Serghei Spivac.
After a shaky start to his UFC career, rising Moldovan sensation Serghei Spivac is finally coming into his own and recently put the heavyweight division on notice with a scintillating display against Derrick Lewis at UFC Vegas 68. Known as a one-trick pony early in his career, Spivac has added new layers to his game in the last few years and is gradually turning into a serious stakeholder in the UFC's most unforgiving weight class. The question is, does he have what it takes to beat the best heavyweights on the planet, including Jon Bones Jones? Let's take a deeper look into the rise of one of the UFC's most unique fighters. Born on January 24, 1995 in Chisinau, Moldova, Serghei Spivac is a professional MMA fighter who had that warrior spirit in him from an early age. However, due to the lack of world-class martial arts facilities in his home country, he could only learn so much, so he had to travel to neighboring Ukraine to take his game to the next level. Not a lot is known about Spivac's personal life because he likes to keep things private. What we do know is that he's married to Bukatar Yana, and the pair has one daughter, who's a major source of inspiration for the big man. As well as being a family man, Spivac is a true patriot, and his professional and personal beliefs are deeply rooted in the rich Moldovan culture and tradition. A true student of the game, Spivac has trained in Russia and Bulgaria as well as in the United States, among a number of other countries. The heavyweight sensation is only 28 years old, and he's very young for his weight division, given the fact that most heavyweights hit their peak in their mid-30s. Despite his relatively young age as a heavyweight, the polar bear is vastly experienced because he started fighting professionally as a teenager. At only 19 years old, Spivac made his mixed martial arts debut in 2014, defeating Andrei Serebrennikov in the first round at Real Fight Promotion 7. In his first 3 years as a professional, the gentle giant from Moldova racked up a 5-0 record and secured his first career title shot against Travis Fulton, a veteran with over 300 fights and more than 250 wins. Fight between Spivac and Fulton took place at the 6th edition of World Warriors Fighting Championship, or the WWFC, in Kiev, Ukraine in 2017. Despite the fact that Fulton was far more experienced, Spivac showed what he was capable of as he dispatched the American in the very first round to win the title. A couple of title defenses later, Spivac got his call from the UFC and made his promotional debut against Walt Harris in 2019, but unfortunately, he was knocked out in less than a minute.
Less than a minute in. It's all big ticket.
To Spivac's credit, it was a short-notice call-up because Harris was originally scheduled to face Alistair Overeem, who had to withdraw. Alexei Olenek was then asked to replace Overeem, but he had to pull out too, making way for Spivac to make his mark on the biggest stages of them all. The polar bear failed to make the most of his debut, but he bounced back into the win column by submitting Tai Tuivasa in his very next octagon outing at UFC 243 in 2019. The Moldovan dominated the fight from start to finish, securing 6 takedowns and punishing the Aussie with vicious ground and pound before putting him out of his misery with a crushing arm triangle choke. Spivac faced his second setback in his third UFC fight when he faced Marcin Tybura. The pull was a huge step up in competition for Spivac, whose wrestling-heavy game plan failed against his opponent, who's a pretty solid grappler himself.
10 секунд. Заключительные 10 секунд этого поединка. Вновь правая рука в корпус залетает Спиваку.
Having a shaky start to his UFC career, the rising heavyweight contender made adjustments to his game and secured 3 consecutive victories. The first of the 3 came against Carlos Felipe by majority decision in 2020. Still very much a diamond in the rough up until mid-2021, Spivac knew he had to train with the best fighters and coaches in the world if he wanted to make a significant impact. To transform his gifted skill set into something truly special, Spivac joined hands with Extreme Couture MMA, one of the top MMA facilities in the United States, shortly before his fight against Jared Vanderaa. Spivac won by TKO and then went on to defeat veteran Alexei Olenek by unanimous decision. Signing up to Extreme Couture MMA and training with the likes of then heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou made an instant impact and helped Spivac grow into a better version of himself, but there were still improvements to be made. In September 2021, Spivac faced his third setback when he was stopped in the first round by Tom Aspinall.
Very fast hands.
who's widely regarded as the next big thing in mixed martial arts because of his incredibly well-rounded game. Since his loss to the Englishman, the 28-year-old has won 3 in a row against Greg Hardy and Augusto Sakai by TKO and against Derrick Lewis by submission. Against Greg Hardy, Spivac showed that there are levels to his mixed martial arts skill set. The controversial former football star struggled to escape from the claws of the polar bear and ultimately accepted his fate. Spivac succeeded in taking him down 4 times out of 5 and landed vicious ground and pound, forcing Hardy to cover up, and that was all she wrote.
Right here. I think this is it. Mark Carter's taking a very good look at him. That's it.
Spivac's win over Augusto Sakai was no different. He dominated the Brazilian on the mat in the first round before taking his back and landing unanswered shots until the referee called a stop to the contest. The rising heavyweight most recently fought Derrick Lewis at UFC Vegas 68.
How does this fight end on Saturday night?
Как закончится этот бой в субботу?
Очень надеюсь, что я выиграю этот бой.
I'm hopeful very much that I will win this fight.
And scored arguably the biggest win of his career. Despite his recent run of defeat, on paper, Spivac's victory may not seem as impressive as it actually is because Lewis has subpar wrestling defense, but his one-punch knockout power is his ultimate equalizer, and with the immaculate timing that he possesses, he was able to brutally knock out the best wrestler in the division, Curtis Blades. The danger of a knockout was always there for Spivac as well, but he made his win look effortless.
I am just always blown away by Spivac and how technical his takedowns are. Nobody seems to be talking about this or appreciating the high-level takedowns that he's doing. You know, this isn't just a regular single leg or a double leg, which of course can be appreciated and are very difficult to pull off. But when I see a guy looking for foot trips and immediately combo off of that into a head and arm throw right into side control, this is high-level stuff, guys. I don't think people realize how difficult it is to execute high-level judo skills in mixed martial arts.
Spivac still has a long way to go because his competition will only get tougher as he moves up the ladder. However, he's already aiming for the stars and wants to try his luck against the best fighters in the world, especially against the best of them all, Jon Bones Jones.
I want Jon Jones. Jon Jones, I respect you so much. Sorry, bro. But I'm coming.
Since Jon Jones is already booked to fight for the vacant heavyweight title against Ciryl Gane, Spivac will have to wait for his opportunity. In truth, Spivac will only get a chance to fight Jones if he runs through a couple of top-ranked heavyweights and builds a name for himself, and then hope that Jon Jones stays in the heavyweight division long enough for the two to battle for the ultimate glory. For now, Spivac will take on whoever the UFC puts in front of him, because he feels he's in the best shape of his life, and it's onward and upward from here on. With that, you just watched us cover Serghei Spivac's journey from Moldova to beating one of the biggest names in the UFC heavyweight division. Does Serghei Spivac have the potential to be the UFC's heavyweight champion? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you liked our video, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon next to it so you get notified whenever we upload a new one. Thanks a ton for watching, and we'll see you another time.